Hey guys, SK here, back with another Clash Royale video, and you asked for it, so I'm here with part 3 of the Royale tournament. I'm currently at 20-2, using 3.0 Xbow Cycle of course. Now I did unfortunately finish out at 26 wins on my other account, just shy off a global tournament badge, but that's okay. We're going to be continuing today on the main account. 20 wins, 2 losses using Xbow, and so a lot of you guys did enjoy the previous 2 videos on the Royale tournament, which I'm really grateful for, and I did ask, and you said that you did in fact want a part 3 of possibly going from 20 wins to 25 wins, so I'll be trying to do that today with 3.0 Xbow Cycle. I think I've said that 3 times already, but yeah, we're going to be going, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one as much as you enjoyed the last 2. I will link part 2 or video number 2 in the description below for those of you that missed it. And with all that being said, let's get right into the matches and hope we can do well today. So we have found our first match against Al Cops from Arizona, and we have a pretty decent starting hand, going to be cycling Electro Spirit at the bridge. Very safe play, and if they do activate King, we will be perfectly fine because we have Xbow. Now, he is playing a Skeleton Barrel, which is actually something I don't really see, but archers can fully take it out, and I can counter push with them. I'm technically up 2 Elixir. Would have been 3, but I did cycle an Electro Spirit into the Skelly Barrel. And so Zappies and Tombstone come down, which is kind of interesting. Gonna go for a Knight, and looks like I actually got a prediction off on the cannon cart. I didn't go for a Knight to predict anything in particular there, but since my opponent was kind of bleeding Elixir with the Zappies and the Tombstone, I figured it would make sense to get a Knight down, and Skelly Dragons come down as well. So I'm actually not really sure what this deck is going to be. Seems like it's kind of unconventional, not really a meta deck that I'm experienced with, but Cannon Cart is something that I've noticed already. So when you're trying to think about your game plan against different decks with Xbow, you want to think about what their threats are and what their best responses to your threat is, or are, sorry. So I have an Xbow, so I know that my opponent has a Cannon Cart, and I have outcycled the Cannon Cart actually right now. So I'm going to go for an Xbow again, and Giant Skelly comes down too. So yeah, my opponent has a Cannon Cart and Giant Skeleton as the main answers to my win condition, or my threat to them, and their main win condition is looking like it's just going to be a Skeleton Barrel, which is not really a threat, I would say. Actually a pretty standard card, and not one that I'm worried to face at all, actually. Especially because I do have Electro Spirit. And okay, Cannon Card at the bridge, pretty aggressive. Gonna go for low Skeletons, and Clone comes down too. Gonna go for an E-Spirit after the cart locks on, and that's gonna be really great micro defense. So notice how I kind of separated things there. And my archers were tanking for my Electro Spirit when I got it down. If I didn't get the Electro Spirit down that late, if I got it down too early, would have just gotten 2-shot by both of the Cannon Carts and not actually jumped. So I'm going to go for an Xbow since Cannon Cart was wasted, and we should be up a little bit of Elixir because my opponent just spent quite a lot, but maybe not. It is kind of annoying how that clone Cannon Cart is just staying on the map for so long. I'm going to go for a Fireball and a Knight. And if my opponent lets this go, I will get some chip damage in the right. Looks like he doesn't let it go. He's actually going to cycle back to the next Xbow. Should have outcycled the Giant Skelly. Plus, he did just waste his Cannon Cart. And actually lets me get a connection here. So just going to log the Zappies. There is no point fireballing the Zappies because it's a bit of an overreaction, considering I already have 6 Elixir down with my Xbow. So log is a better option, I would say. Fireball against Zappies is good if you're going to go for a game-winning connection. And I pre-cycled the Tesla there because of Skeleton Barrel, and notice the placement there. It would pull any Skelly Barrel in the left lane no matter what. So my opponent did go for one in the right. I can just ignore it and go for a log at the very end. Archer's here to DPS, and now I'm going to have to let the Xbow die because Cannon Cart's coming down. I'd rather defend it on my side, so I'm going to save my Knight for the cart on my side of the map and take it out that way. So just going to Fireball, and my opponent actually gives me quite a lot of Fireball value. Now I'm going to split archers, split instead of same lane because I'm kind of pushing in the left lane, so I don't need them to be going in the right lane. So that's why I think putting them in the middle would have been better. If I put them both in the left lane, it wouldn't have done anything against the spawn Skeletons. Gonna go for a Knight to predict his Cannon Cart on my Tesla, as he actually gets Zappies down instead, which is also fine. Now he's going to be pushing opposite lane, which I guess is kind of smart, but E-Spirit does jump on everything. Gonna go for a Knight to tank for the Skelly Drags, and I can't go in right away because I did just waste my Knight. So I think I'm gonna wait for a bit and then get to full Elixir before going in. Skelly Barrel comes down, gonna log it. Notice how I have to play my log 1 tile lower, which doesn't hit the tower, but I think it's worth it because it clips all the Skeletons from the Skeleton Barrel. as opposed to hitting the tower but missing quite a few. Now I'm just going to go for a pre-Tesla, and this one won't actually pull any skeleton barrel. I'm going to go for an Xbow, and I can just take really good fireball value. My opponent kind of gave me a lot of fireball value. Looks like I kind of miscalculated with my Xbow timing, because the cannon cart wasn't fully crossed over, but that's okay. I'm in a really good position in this match. I'm just keeping up pressure. That's a pretty scary looking clone, but I can just log fireball, everything dies. As my opponent's going for some desperation, like zappies at the bridge is when you know they're getting pretty desperate, I would say. And Tornado is going to be a card that doesn't get any value at all against me, so I'm totally fine with that. Very good matchup. This is another matchup, by the way, where Electro Spirit is better than Ice Spirit. A lot of people always ask Electro Spirit or Ice Spirit, and I usually do answer it at the start of my videos. Didn't do it this one, but yeah, Electro Spirit's better, and a matchup like this demonstrates why it just covers Clone way better, covers Bait and Swarm way better. My opponent is saying thanks for some reason, even though he lost, so I guess he's thanking me for the free loss that I gave him. I don't know, but he is using a lot of emotes. That's going to be a real nice win for our 21st win in the global tournament. So, on to the next match. Queue time should be getting a bit longer now that we're getting higher up in wins. We should also be going against better players, which is going to be a bit tricky, especially if we get some hard matchups, but we'll see what we can do as we look for the next match. And yeah, it is actually taking quite a while, but hopefully we find it soon enough. There we go. And we find a match against Dealings from Lemon Haze. Kind of reminds me of Lemon Tree. If you guys remember, I'm sure most of you do, but yeah, very inspirational Exo player, and actually another skeleton barrel. Interesting, but yeah, notice how I'm just going for archers, and now I'm going to have to go for a knight because he did arrows away my archers. So Skelly Barrel Arrows is going to be a different deck from last time, of course, but it's not going to be any meta skeleton barrel decks that I know either, unless it's like Golem clone with skeleton barrel. That would be really annoying. But Dark Prince comes down. Just going to log it to take the shield away, reset the charge a bit, and also just to cycle back to my archers. He goes for a Lumberjack and Balloon, so maybe the Speedy Balloon deck, or whatever it's called, that has both Skeleton Barrel and Balloon. And Lumberjack, of course, to rage the Balloon up. Just going to not overreact to that. Don't need to fireball it. I can take death damage, because I can also just counter push with these archers. As my opponent goes for a Skeleton Barrel, that's not actually going to do anything. Just going to go E-Spirit. Don't even need to go log, because E-Spirit's cheaper, and I could have had log and cycle for anything else, which I will have against this Muskie now, so I can go log and then skeleton, because that's something you guys have to do sometimes. If you want to counter a troop, I could have just gone for maybe a knight on the musketeer, but going for a log let me cycle back to my skeleton, so you also have to factor in your upcoming cycle cards. Like skeletons was the next card, so if I go for a log, it won't counter the musketeer in a vacuum, but cycling back to the skeletons will, and also advance my cycle quicker. Plus, I didn't want to waste my knight. He has Dark Prince. I can save my knight for the Dark Prince, like I did here. Gonna go for archers because those bats are actually probably gonna get some damage if I don't respond. He goes for arrows, so I'm not gonna go Expo because archers are dead, and he probably will just get a free LumberLoon off of it. So I'm actually just gonna let it go. And I'm gonna go for a fireball and then skeletons. Bit of an overcommit. But I didn't want to use log and let the skeleton barrel get damage on my tower. I also didn't want to go Tesla because I need Tesla for the balloon. So yeah, just going to go for defensive Expo. And this placement of the defensive Expo, by the way, is so that it can't be bypassed, even by a balloon. Okay, so going to go E-Spirit for the bats. And balloon might get death damage, but knight will take out the musketeer just fine. We are still in the damage lead. Now I think I'll go for a Tesla and protect it, so I'll go like skeletons as well, so that it stays alive if my opponent chooses to go for a balloon. I'm going to go for an Expo, predicting something in the back. Yep, musketeer in the back left lane. And my opponent plays barbs. I think that was a misplay, because he probably should have just played them like split in the middle. Going to go knight and then E-Spirit for all the bats. Expo should take out the musketeer as well. And I really disagree with that skeleton barrel with my opponent, because he has a half health Expo to deal with. I'm going to defend it a bit here, predict with skeletons and log as Muskie comes down. Yeah, I don't agree with that skeleton barrel play, because he had an Expo to deal with, so he should have dealt with it before making a push. But anyways, helps us out, so gonna go for an Expo, counter pushing with this knight. Let's see if balloon comes down. E-Spirit for the bats, and this was gonna connect because my opponent just spent enough elixir to the point. I don't know his exact elixir, but like when you count elixir, you have general ideas, and I saw like a Dark Prince, Musketeer, Skelly Barrel. I knew he didn't have enough for for a lumberjack in time, so I knew it was going to connect, especially because he played arrows. And I'm just going to pull this balloon away with an Xbow. This is something you can do if you don't have Tesla and Cycle for the Xbow. For the balloon, by the way, you can just pull it with an Xbow instead. Perfectly acceptable. Notice how it worked out there, and that's the placement you want to use. Now I can just cycle 2 fireballs for the win, because my opponent, cycling in the back isn't going to do anything because I can just cycle. He needs to be like spamming at the bridge trying to win, but that wouldn't work either. It's basically a guaranteed win for me, so gonna spell cycle and get a really nice win for 22 wins in the global tournament against a very interesting skeleton barrel deck. Alright, and I did lose a match, so I'm actually going to switch to Archer Queen now. I lost against the Officer Ramses deck with Royal Giant, Skeleton King, Mother Witch, Fireball Log, which is actually would have been pretty free of a matchup if I had Archer Queen, but because I had Archers, it was just a lot more difficult, because usually against Royal Giant you want to play Archer same lane, but in that case it's just weak against Fireball, weak against Log, and weak against the Mother Witch as well, so... I honestly, like, I tried my best with 3.0 Xbow Cycle, but I feel like it's just putting myself at a disadvantage if I'm not using Archer Queen, when I'm a bit more familiar with Archer Queen now than I was before, so I know how to play her better. I'm gonna pop the ability here, and okay, I feel like that was kind of unlucky just having her die right as I use the ability, but maybe I could have been earlier with the ability timing as well. But yeah, I think I am gonna finally switch to Archer Queen now, because I feel like it's just a disadvantage if I don't have her, and she's just gonna be a lot better overall. Archers are good as well, but for you guys, you can use Archer Queen in the global tourney too, and in challenges, because they are available for everyone, even if you don't have her unlocked. So I'm playing against an interesting Prince, Valkyrie, like 3 heavier medium cost troops right now, and wow, my opponent actually goes for a well-played Tornado, pulling my queen in, and allowing the Prince charge to take her down to 1 HP, which was like pretty scary, but she did thankfully survive and finish off the Prince. And so I don't know what this is going to be exactly. Valk, I'm not going to go Expo though, because my opponent has like a ton of tanks, and I don't really want to go in until I find out more about what exactly is being run here. But yeah, hopefully the point I was making about Archer Queen makes sense. I'm also getting higher up in wins now, where I do need to start taking things pretty seriously and trying. If I don't, like, I could honestly just try and go with Archers, but why put myself at a worse position if I have a better option available? And anyone can use Archer Queen in this format especially. It's not like you need to be maxed or have her maxed to use her. So, gonna go for the ability here. I knew my opponent was going to do the same NATO play, so this time I activated the ability early, and that was kind of a counterplay to his Tornado strategy. And notice how I'm just comfortable playing pre-Teslas. I feel like it might be a balloon deck, so I'm going to go for a pre-Tesla a bit off to the left now, so that it would pull a balloon. Gonna go for an Expo, and okay, Inferno Tower comes down. So I really don't know what this is going to be. It's like ExeNado, Valk Prince, Inferno Tower, Bar Barrel. I think there's still 2 cards that haven't been revealed yet. So definitely missing a win condition. If it is going to be Balloon, I'll be pretty happy about it, because I do have Queen Tesla. But okay, looking like it's going to be Graveyard. Gonna go for a Log on the Graveyard. Knight for the Prince, and okay, the Knight wasn't a misplay, but if the Queen didn't take out the Graveyard, it would have been, because my Knight probably should have been next to the Graveyard, since the Prince was basically dead anyways. And I'm not sure if I should have activated my Queen ability there, but I did accidentally misplace my Expo, which is honestly fine, because in this matchup, it's kind of acting like a defensive Expo. My opponent hasn't revealed any big spells yet. He only has Bar Barrel and Tornado. Maybe last card could be a Freeze, or like something to complement the Graveyard, possibly. But yeah, just going for logs on the Graveyards after Skeletons build up a bit. And gonna go for an Expo. Gonna need to wait till I get a bit more Elixir, because I know he has Inferno Tower. Just gonna go for Tesla to predict the Inferno Tower now, as it does come down, and Queen ability fully takes out the Exe as well. Gonna go for a Knight, and this should take out the Valk fully. Gonna go for a Surprise Log to get it on the tower, and catch the Bar Barrel with both my Cycle cards. If they go for a Bar Barrel on the side like that, you can tank 1 hit with either Skeletons or Electro Spirit, but not more than 1 hit. So you need to play both Cycle cards if you want to fully tank it. And I wouldn't advise fully tanking it unless your Expo's on tower. So that's why I did that. Also, it helps advance the cycle. And these pre-Teslas are going to be putting in a lot of work, because my opponent doesn't seem to have any response to them so far. Like, anything he plays is kind of going into them. Gonna protect this Xbow, pop the Queen ability, go E-Spirit as well, and Xbow's looking like it's basically dead, but I am also gonna be able to take care of basically the entire Inferno. Now I can finally reset with a defensive Xbow, which should be good, because of, it's really good since they don't have a big spell as well. And I went Knight up high to try and predict a graveyard in the right. Going for a Tesla on the left, so I'll cover both lanes, whatever my opponent wants to push in. Just gonna go for a log, and then I can go for an E-Spirit afterwards. E-Spirit's kind of like a mini log when it comes to graveyard. Now I'm gonna go for an Xbow Tesla, because I also have a Queen alive, and I don't see a way my opponent defends this, while also having enough time to build an offensive push. Especially because there's only like 10 seconds left, so I think we got the game in the bag. Just gonna go for a Fireball log on the Prince, and that's gonna be the win. Looks like my opponent gave up. So yeah, in that matchup, Archers would have also actually been probably better, because my opponent didn't really have arrows or anything, and Archers are better against Graveyard, but also Archer Queen is just very good and very solid. So yeah, I'm going to switch to her permanently now. 23 wins and 3 losses. Alright, so pushing onwards with Archer Queen as we find the next match. Also about the Royal Giant match that I lost. It's not that I'm not showing the loss because I don't want to show losses. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you've probably seen me show a fair amount of losses because I just usually record things in one take. But there wasn't really any educational value in that loss because I feel like it's just a very hard matchup with Archers, and with Archer Queen it's just a very easier matchup at least. Gonna go for an Xbow because my opponent just wasted a Lightning. This should lock on because he probably doesn't have enough. I think it's going to be Ram Rider, probably Mega Knight Ram Rider. Archer Queen also comes down, but yeah, my opponent didn't have enough Elixir there to play the Archer Queen in time. So we get a really nice connection. That is one really good thing about Queen as well that I couldn't have done if I had Archers there. She can bait out Lightnings, especially early on, and usually a Lightning against the Queen would be a good play, but in the case of an Xbow deck, like the one exception, it's not, because we can punish with an Xbow, and they'll be at 4 Elixir, and they won't have enough, they'll be at 4 Elixir, and they won't have a Lightning as well. So just, yeah. Gonna go for a Knight here to kind of do double duty on both the Bandit and the Ghost. So notice how I placed it a bit over on the left instead of on the Bandit, because then I would have had to overcommit to the Ghost with the Queen or something. So just playing it safe and casual. Now I'm gonna go for a Tesla instead of a Queen, because I don't want my Queen to get Lightninged again. If it gets Lightninged, I won't be able to go in the right lane because Inferno Dragon would still be alive, so that's why I went for the Tesla instead. And so now a Queen's coming down. Gonna go for a Queen at the bridge myself to pressure a bit. And okay, Mega Knight comes down. Looks like my opponent misses the Mega Knight as well. So I'm gonna go for a Knight, and this should hopefully deal with their own Queen. And I think I'll just go for an E-Spirit and then log on this Mega Knight, and I'll take a bit of a jump. Gonna go for an Xbow as well, because I think my opponent's gonna be low on Elixir, and the only thing in hand should be a Queen. Well, I was expecting a Queen, but Ram Rider too. And notice the play I did just now. You can pull the Ram Rider off your Xbow's targeting by playing a Tesla like that. It's a play I really like to make against these matchups. And also the Bandit just retargeted because of the Bandit glitch, so that was just a layer on top of that. But gonna go for a Queen, and going for a Queen up high this time. Notice that placement, because against any Lightning deck, you usually want to play your Queen very high. If you play it low, it's just going to be susceptible to a Lightning, so that should be out of Lightning range against both the Queen and the Tower, so they'd have to choose one. I'm just going to let the Queen in the left go, and go for an E-Spirit. I think I'm going to have to get back to a Tesla, because I really don't want to take a Ram charge here. But I feel like we're in pretty good control right now against a pretty hard matchup, I would say. Mega Knight, Ram Rider, Lightning. Probably one of the more challenging matchups for this deck, especially because my opponent does have the Inferno Dragon and the Queen, 2 pretty annoying cards. And yeah, notice how Lightning was just forced out on my Queen there, not hitting the tower, so I'm just fine. That's just a -1 trade for them every time they do that, and it's fine. Now I'm back to another Queen, going for it up high again, and in Queen against Queen abilities, you want to play your ability second, so I'm going to go for it now, and then go for an Xbow, predicting anything to come down. Yep, Ghost comes down, and I feel like my opponent just barely had enough Elixir for that Mega Knight, but I was hoping that he wouldn't have enough Elixir for a Mega Knight, so he would have to be caught in a bad spot. But anyway, that's still fine. Going to go for Skeleton's Log. Should fully take out this push, and going for the same anti-Lightning Queen. Going to pop ability as well. And if I knew a Lightning was coming down, I the popping the ability was just a waste of 1 elixir, but I honestly didn't think my opponent would lightning it, or I was hoping he would like do something else and then lightning it, kind of just mind games. But either way, it's fine. Gonna go for a defensive Xbow. This placement is anti-lightning, so he can't lightning the Xbow in my right side tower, which is weaker. Just gonna go skeletons for the bandit, and since Mega Knight came down, gonna go for a queen at the bridge. Will force out either a lightning, or yeah, forces out a lightning, which is unpleasant for my opponent because I can just go for a Tesla, and he really has no way of breaking through this setup. So queen is very good as just fireball bait overall. Now I'm gonna have to get a good fireball, I think. And okay, my queen just bled out for some reason. Maybe I shouldn't have played her in the middle of all the action, just susceptible there. That's still okay. Mega Knight comes down. I'm gonna try and cycle back to my knight, so had to play 3 cards to get back to my knight. But that's fine. Lightning came down, so I can safely go for a low queen this time. Now I have cycled back to a Tesla as well, so I can just go for a Tesla. And queen actually pulls the ghost opposite lane, which is great. I can just fireball this queen as well. Don't even need to try any shenanigans with fireball in the tower, just to look cool. Just take the safe defense against the queen, and that's going to be a really nice win against what I would say is a pretty hard matchup, actually. Like Mega Knight Lightning. Mega Knight Ram Rider with Poison is a good matchup, but with Lightning it's just hard because it takes out your queen, but there is counterplay to the Lightning as I showed you in this match. So that's going to be a nice win for 24 wins. Alright, so I did unfortunately lose another match. I'm at 24 wins and 4 losses now, so 1 loss away from being eliminated. And like I said before, I'm totally fine showing losses if it provides some kind of educational value or something I can learn from. That loss, though, was just against 2.6, which is, I would say, a really hard matchup. Not a hard counter, but definitely not Xbow's matchup anymore. I honestly can't really find a great way to beat it. Like, I didn't even misplay, but it's just that I didn't really have a way of breaking through because he was cycling a lot of low cannons and spelling out my Xbows and then just out-damaging me. So, yeah, really unfortunate, but I wouldn't say there's much I did wrong. But I guess I'll see next time I play against 2.6 if I can do something differently. We are into the next match against Lava. Gonna log this tombstone, and okay, looks like I missed it, so okay, I'm gonna try and not tilt after that loss and try and still play normally because there's really no benefit in just tilting. And it is gonna be Lava's tombstone, so I'm gonna go for a queen on this flying machine. I think I've learned that when I see a lava in the back, sometimes I like to go full defense. Gonna go for the ability here to just take out the lava, and I don't think I need to fireball, because I can just let the tower target the first Skelly Drag, go for skeletons on the miner, and then fireball these pups and the Skelly Drag afterwards. So I think if I fireballed the Skeleton Dragons at the start, it could have been good, actually. Like, maybe I still could have gotten a fine defense, but then he could have gone for a miner, and it might have been a bit different of a sequence. So I was just honestly totally fine just not fireballing there. Also didn't even waste my Tesla, so pretty good position. Just gonna cycle log and E-Spirit. E-Spirit will hit the Mega Minion and the tower if left unprovoked, and so now my opponent's gonna go for a high lava. So gonna go for a low Tesla, and the purpose of that is to and I went for a queen, which is thankfully targeting the Mega Minion. I went for a queen to snipe this flying machine, and the purpose of that Tesla was so that I could not get targeted by the Lavahound, but just have it slowly DPS. Now I'm going to go for an Xbow, because I have a full health queen counter pushing. I'm going to go for the ability, and I don't think there's any way my opponent defends this well. He's going to go for the ability. I'll just go for an E-Spirit to clean up all of these and log this tombstone as well. And this is going to be a connection. Okay, honestly quite a bad log. I wasn't expecting the queen to take out the tombstone, but yeah, that's basically going to be tower. And we're in a very nice spot, so if my opponent goes for a lava, I can go Xbow opposite lane. In fact, I can even preemptively go for an Xbow opposite lane to kind of throw off my opponent's initiative, go for a fireball on the Skelly Drags to force something else out, or if he goes for a lava, which he does, he's going to be still forced to respond to this Xbow, or it's probably going to take his entire tower. And okay, he does so with the flying machine. He's going to go for a queen to snipe the flying machine, get ability down, and okay, and a bit unfortunate that my queen died, so I'm going to lose my tower for that, actually, but I'm not going to panic. I'm just going to accept that my tower's dead. Still in a good spot because I have his left side all the way down to 700, so I'm just going to chill, go for a log, Skelly's to pull the Mega Minion, and okay, looks like I didn't pull the Mega Minion. That's still fine. I'm just going to go for a queen instead. Pop the ability to start DPSing everything down with burst damage, and we did take a bunch of damage. Just, I would say, a bit of an unfortunate sequence there. Queen died in the first defense, and he's going to go for a Flying Machine and actually misses the Skelly King coming down. So just going to Fireball and take it out. And yeah, so we did get a bit unlucky with the Queen dying right as I used the ability earlier. But honestly, I was just fine. I immediately recognized my tower was dead and moved on from there, and was able to walk away with the win, which is going to be a really nice 25 wins. Okay, and I guess I'm just going to keep going. My goal was honestly just 25 wins for the video, but now that I'm already up here, I don't have much self-control either. I'd rather just play out the rest of my games and see how I can do. So we're going to go find the next match against Nelestre 2.0, gonna cycle a log, and he goes for bats. So gonna go for a queen. Bats could be lava clone, could be minor bats, like minor control with bats, could be giant graveyard, but obviously lava comes down. Gonna go for that same Xbow. Also going for this Xbow in the inwards placement so that I can kind of pull things inwards, like I'll have more space to defend, and also the lava will be nudged a bit to the right. Gonna pop a queen ability here, and then go for a Tesla to take out the baby dragon. Actually, I'm going to go for an E-Spirit now that he went for a clone, and just fireball everything afterwards. Maybe I should have waited on the queen ability. So maybe a slight misplay there. He's going to go for an aggressive lumberjack. I can just go for a knight and defend it, and we're going to walk away with a tower damage lead. So lava clone. I also didn't use my E-Spirit against this Skarmy earlier because I knew it was probably going to be lava clone after seeing bats, and so I wanted to hold on to it for that sequence, which worked out really well. Now I'm going to go for skeletons behind the knight, which one actually does get damage on the tower, so pretty nice offensive pressure there. For one elixir, I'll take one skelly hit on the tower. That's very much worth it, rather than just cycling them and getting it wasted. Going to go for the Xbow again, and I'm going to try and go for a queen on the support if I can. So Flying Machine, I'm going to see if I can try and snipe the Flying Machine with my queen. It's going to go for a Tesla, low again, and then go for the queen, and E-Spirit, and then ability. And wow, okay, queen actually dies like right as I use the ability, and I think E-Spirit didn't jump either, so looking like I'm not playing the best in terms of micro gameplay. My opponent is BMing for some reason, even though that's just a fireball or two logs on the left of him. Not out of it at all. But yeah, I think I just need to work on my queen ability timing. Like, I usually don't want to play it too early, because I don't want it to die, but then in those defensive sequences when I'm playing it too late, it just dies before it gets off. So I'm going to try and work on that. I'm going to go for a lower Tesla, and knight to try and block the Tesla, and queen is hopefully going to target the baby dragon. No, it actually targets the Lavahound, which kind of sucks. So I'm going to get ability and fireball everything, then go for an E-Spirit, and then knight as well. And I'm going to log the lumberjack back, kite the Skarmy away with skeletons, and E-Spirit again just to clean up. And Flying Machine's coming down, but I think I'm going to have to let it go because I'm going to have to fireball in the left. I can't go for an Xbow, that would just not work, he could just stall it out, so I'm going to have to fireball here. Also can't cycle two logs, I'm going to go for an Xbow right away as well. If my opponent goes for a Lavahound, I think he loses. So I'm trying to force a sequence where Lavahound isn't able to come down, and that was the whole purpose of the Xbow there. Yeah, so bats, baby dragon, lumberjack, fireball, all forced out, which means Lavahound is not going to be coming down. I'm going to go E-Spirit to protect the queen, and I can go for an Xbow with this queen. Plus fireball will be out of cycle. So I can pop the ability, it'll fully take out this Flying Machine, or Baby Dragon instead, and Xbow doesn't get any damage, but basically fully takes out his support. I am one card away from an Xbow again, so I'm going to wait a bit so I don't get predicted right away, and then go for another Xbow, to keep up pressure, basically not letting him build a big lava push, knight to block, and yeah, it's basically over. Just going to fireball this, and even if he fireballs me, I can block this baby dragon enough to the point where a log will take it out. So that's going to be a really nice win against Lava Clone. I'm going to BM my opponent because he BM'd first, so why not? Plus it's Lava Clone, so double why not? But yeah, that's going to be a really nice win for 26 wins, so going above and beyond my old goal. Okay, so looking for the next match, and tension is getting kind of high now. I'm at 26 wins, I believe around one away from a top 1000 finish. Not that I need it though, because my best global tourney badges are all around top 200. Or better, so unless I get up to like 31 wins above, it won't really change. But let's see what we can do into a match against Flocky. Gonna go E-Spirit and then Xbow opposite when I see a queen come down. That's basically my general rule. almost always, and RG does come down, so it's going to be Royal Giant Cycle, it looks like. I think my opponent had an E-Spirit of his own there. Going to go for a Knight and Fireball this Queen back. Standard defense against the Queen as the ability comes in, so I actually don't know if that was the right play. Going to go for an E-Spirit as well. And yeah, I'm not sure, because I didn't want to go Skeletons on the RG, because it could have just gotten E-Spirited or logged for free. But I also took a bunch of damage against the RG because I didn't have a great defense follow-up. So maybe it was just a bad expo, but I don't know. I usually don't see RG with Queen, with the Queen coming down so early. But anyways, we took some damage in both lanes. If it's going to be RG Queen with Lightning, I think it's going to be a pretty tricky matchup. Even though Aragon kind of taught me how to play it. And he told me you basically need to just spam Queen at the bridge. Looks like my opponent had the same idea. It's going to pop the ability a bit later than my opponent. Going to go for Skeletons to win the Queen battle. And Queen does actually get a hit on the tower, so slight misplay by my opponent. But that's still not really beneficial, because I don't want to go same lane, especially if it's a Lightning deck. So I'm still going to log cycle in the left. I want to be going opposite lane, not same lane, as this matchup. So yeah, going to go E-Spirit to cycle back to my Knight, instead of going for a Tesla, which would just die. And E-Spirit locks on, so closing in damage a little bit. Fisherman comes down, so when a Fisherman comes down this matchup, I think you pretty much always want to Tesla it. So just going to go for Tesla there. And it will also stay on the map against a possible RG. So Queen in the back, going to go for an Expo again. I don't know if this is the right play, actually. Maybe I should have Fireballed the Queen. Because yeah, RG's just going to come down. I'm going to go Queen and pop ability, but let's see if it gets Lightning now. If it gets Lightninged, that would be a bit tricky. But Lightning actually not coming down. It's going to protect my Queen a bit with my cycle cards. And opponent's Queen ability is forced out, which means I won't have to respond to the Queen anymore, because there's no threat of the ability, and Tesla takes it out. So, Fireball actually comes down. I'm going to log this Dark Prince back, and Fireball his tower. And I'm going to go on the same lane, because it's going to be a Fireball matchup. I thought it was going to be Lightning, which is why I was a bit worried, but I actually haven't seen RG with Fireball in a long time. But I'm going to go for a Knight up high. Force the Queen's ability out early. I like to do this play, forcing the ability out when it's not on my side of the map, so I can just take it out on my side easily. Now I'm going to cycle Fireballs and log to also hit the Dark Prince to get more value. Looking like it's going to be a spell cycle war, so I think the plan is going to be to get a Queen down, so I get a 3-card cycle, and then I'll be able to cycle spells easier. But yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure, because my opponent has better pressure than me. I'm basically on the back end of defending the whole time. My opponent has Dark Prince, Fisherman, Queen pressure. I'm going to Fireball log this Dark Prince, though, to maybe get a Queen hit on the tower. And okay, he's going to RG, so going to go for a Knight Tesla, which should fully take it out, actually. I'm going to also get log value on both the RG, the Queen, and the tower. Sorry, all three, I guess. That was in both. But I think I might have to Fireball this Queen, so my opponent could just Fireball me back here. Very glad I didn't go for Skeletons or anything like that, because my opponent did predict with an E-Spirit, and this game's getting very tense, so I think I might, in triple at least, have to start going for defensive Expos. Yeah, he's going to Spell Cycle, so I think I'm going to have to Spell Cycle him back, because I can't afford to fall back in damage, and there's absolutely zero benefit of going for an Expo here, unless it's defensive, because it would just give him a free RG. There's absolutely no point. Going to go for Queen here, Queen ability to keep it alive, and then cycle some spells pretty aggressively. Looks like we're actually in the damage lead after I get this log down, and maybe I should have gone for a log before my Knight so I could get back to a log faster, but anyways, we'll see. Gonna Fireball again, and I think we're actually down. Somehow we're down like 8 damage. I don't even know how that happens, but this kind of sucks because my opponent has the Queen down, which means he has a faster cycle. So gonna pop ability here, try and spell cycle and get back to another Fireball, and also try and get back to another log if we can, as my opponent's going to be trying to get back to another Fireball of his own. So this is getting very intense. Going to get a Fireball down, and oh my god, it looks like the Fireball came down 1 second too late, and with 28 HP, that's going to be at the end to our global tournament run. With 26 wins and 33 crowns. So yeah, like I'm gonna include that in the video for sure. I think, well, if you're watching this is always gonna be in the video now. But yeah, like that was a very intense match, and I feel like I could have played it a bit better. Like, there was this one part where I cycled a knight and then log on the Dark Prince, but I could have just gone for a log first, getting back to a log faster, and then I might have actually been the difference maker between that 28 damage that I was down at the very end. But yeah, very intense match. Very unfortunate that I lost out at 26, which is just... Well, it might still be top 1k, depends on the wins, but it's going to be like, I don't know the wins below top 1000 in the global tourneys. I've always thought about it, but never actually known. But it's going to be like, I guess, top 1.5k or top 2k or something, which isn't really impressive for me. But yeah, I'm honestly still pretty happy with 26 wins, considering I used 3.0 Xbow Cycle for like 85% or so. I don't know the actual math, don't quote me on that, but like I use it until 22 wins. And I did lose twice below 22 wins. And I think my first loss was against a Lavahound deck with arrows. And if I had Archer Queen, I would not have lost, because arrows are very annoying against archers, much worse against Archer Queen. And that is another reason why I think Archer Queen is just better against arrows decks, better for the 3-card cycle. Also, a lot of people ask me, what is the 3-card cycle actually? Like, someone was in the comments the other day saying they are confused, so I'll just explain a bit. Basically, when you get a queen down, your deck has 8 cards, but you can't cycle multiple champions. So you're going to have a 7-card deck after that point. And then from there on, you'll be able to get back to a card in 3 cards instead of 4. Usually you need 4, so I play an Xbow. I need to play like Electro Spirit, Knight, Log, Skeletons to get back to another Xbow. But if I have a queen down, I can just go Electro Spirit, Skeletons, Log, and get back to another Xbow with 4 elixir, because I'm only getting around 7 cards, not 8, since queen is taken out while she's on the field. That was kind of a tangent off a topic, but yeah, just an explanation for the person who asked that. But yeah, honestly, I feel like also the loss that I lost against the Officer Ramsey's deck with 3.0 Expo, I definitely would have won with Archer Queen, because I've been playing that. I played that matchup on top ladder last season when I was pushing to 8,000 trophies, and I beat it very easily. So I'm sure I would have been able to win that if I had Archer Queen. But anyways, I still enjoy trying with 3.0 Expo Cycle as well, and I'm sure you guys did as well, since it is going to be a lot of the... it's going to be the main deck that a lot of people still use. But yeah, I would say Queen is better for you guys if you're asking for the global tourney, even though this is part 3, which means the tourney is basically almost over, because I already uploaded 2 more on 2 different days earlier, and the tourney is only 5 days long, I think. But yeah, long tangent. That's going to be 26 wins. I'm honestly pretty proud of it, because again, I used 3.0 Expo Cycle for most of it, not Archer Queen, and I feel like I would have lost at least 2 less up to that point if I had Queen the whole time. Then again, I might have just lost 2 more in a row after that. Who knows? So no point focusing on that. Still happy with 26 wins. It's like my average now. I basically always lose at around 26 wins. Even on my other account, I lost at 26. So honestly, like, I'm happy with it, but I'm also going to try and improve, because I don't want to always get 26. You know, I'd like to get better, of course. So I'll see where I went wrong, try and do better. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you still haven't played the global tourney with Expo, or if you're interested in playing it with Expo, I would say play it with Archer Queen. Just a better version overall. And yeah, my loss against 2.6, I'm not that mad about, because, well, I guess it's pretty frustrating to always lose to 2.6. Like, it's come to the point where I beat Hog Earthquake way more than I beat 2.6. And it's honestly just because the Expo is so weak against spells. Like, they can just stall it out indefinitely with Ice Golems, and then just go Fireball Log on the Expo, and there's not much you can do. Low cannons, you can't overcommit with a Fireball, because that's just a -1, and they can go anti-cannon, so you can't Fireball the same lane tower. So 2.6, very hard matchup. I might actually ask some of my friends how they play that matchup, because after the Queen nerf, you can't exactly go for Queen pressure at the bridge either. They could just stall it out with an Ice Golem, with a Fireball, with a Log. So yeah, I'll have to see how that matchup is played better. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. 26 wins, still impressive enough for me, still happy enough with it, but going to be trying to do better in the next tourney. Pretty long-winded outro, but hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. For everyone who was asking for a part 3, hope you're happy with this, and let me know where you are yourself in the global tourney, how you did, if you used Expo, if you used anything else. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Take care, have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.